All right, we're ready to start on the first piece of assembly. We've got our header board here, and I've identified, which end that I want to be top and which end I want to be bottom, just based on, where there may be a nick or a bad place that won't be seen. So we have our piece of bead here, and we're going to lay it in place, and it will be flush in the back, right here. Will be flush back there, that makes it easy. And we're also going to be careful to make sure that we have the proper overhang. And we said 3/8 of an inch, and we're about 3/8 heavy, but it's not going to matter. Your eye's not going to pick up a small difference like that. So let's go ahead and nail it into place. I'm using a 18 gauge finish nailer with I think I have 1-inch nails in it right now, and that'll be plenty. So let's go ahead and start putting some nails in it. There's one. I'm probably nailing this about every 8 inches. And as I go down through here, I'm adjusting, where the board may be bowed a little bit. There's another one. There's another one. We're feeling pretty good all the way down to the end, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit those real quick. So now, we have the first piece assembled. Here's the bead, it's in place. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and put the cap on the top. Now when we're finished, what we'll do is go ahead and put some wood filler in here and sand it down, and then put a couple more coats of paint on it, and we'll be ready to put it all together upstairs. Okay, moving right along, we're ready to go ahead and attach the cap. And at this point, you should be able to get an idea of what this is going to look like when we're finished. So, just like when we attach the bead, we're going to make sure it's flush in the back, and we have the proper overhang in the front that will accommodate the cove when it goes into place. And we also need to remember that we have an overhang on this end, and I believe we said 1.25 inches. So let's double check that, and we're right at 1.25 inches. So we're ready to go ahead and attach this with the finish nailer. Let's go ahead and put a couple of nails in it. And again, we'll nail it about every 8 inches. And adjust it along the way if we need to. Okay, so now we have the cap on, and you can get an idea how this is going to look. The next thing we're going to do is attach the cove and get it into place, and then we'll be finished. Okay, let's go ahead and get this cove into place. What we're going to do is just put a small little bead of wood glue on the back and position it into place. What I'm going to do is take this little piece that goes on the end, and I'm going to just hold it into place to help me be able to properly position the long piece. Once that's in, I'll go ahead and hit it with some finish nails. I have some 3/4 inch finish nails I'm using for this, and it'll be on there. We'll let it set up and we'll be ready to move on. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of glue on here. Okay. Now when we put this on, it doesn't take much. Just enough. We're just trying to give it enough to help us get it to tack into place and then set up real strong where it won't be, you know, pulling out over time. So just a little thin bead, and then let's just take our finger and run it down through the edge and end up with a little bit. I don't know where you wipe that. Wipe it on your sleeve, I guess. So we have the glue on, and we are ready to set this into place. We'll take this little end piece to help us guide where it needs to be. That's looking real good right there. So we'll take our nailer and put a few nails in it. I'll probably put more nails in that than I needed to, but that'll be okay. Now we'll go ahead and do the same thing on this little end piece. We'll put a little bit of glue on it, and then we'll just tack it into place with the nailer. So smudge that in real good. Wipe it on your sleeve. Put it in place. Go ahead and put a nail in it. Okay. We now have a completely assembled header. Doesn't that look good? What we'll do now is take a little bit of wood filler and fill in the nail holes, sand it down a little bit, get it smooth, and put a couple coats of paint on it, and it's ready to go up. I like this Minwax wood putty. It's easy to work with. Just get a little gob on your finger there and mash it into place, and you can about work it all out with your fingers, just mashing it in. Does a real nice job. Don't really have to sand much because you can take most of the material off with your finger as you put it in. So now we're going to go ahead and put the header on, and when we do, it'll bring this whole door together. Pretty simple procedure. Since we've already assembled all the components, all we're going to do is just set it into place and make sure that we have the proper alignment, and that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and tack it up with some nails. And I kind of nail it, kind of alternating from the top to bottom. there we are. Let's step back and take a look at it. So here we are. It all went up real good, and didn't have any problems. Our reveals look nice and sharp on the sides and on the top. And I'll come back in later with some wood filler, fill the nail holes in, touch it up with some paint, and we're done.